Welcome to the Audience Converter Podcast, the podcast for converting your audience from strangers to loyal fans. We dive deep and discuss how entrepreneurs, consultants, and coaches can level up their business to help more people in the world. Now here's your host, the creator of the Audience Conversion Method, Kimberly Weitkamp.
Are you a community leader who's looking to really build your community through the power of email? It's the first chance you have to get in front of the right people, and you should make the most of it. So many community leaders take the template approach, and you've lost your community before they've even found you. How about crafting the perfect welcome series instead? You can grab my guide, Crafting the Perfect Welcome Series, at theaudienceconverter.com/giveaway. Discover the tips and tactics I use to help my clients get up to an 80% open rate. When people open those first few emails, they're more likely to continue opening your messages, engaging, and buying from you. Build your community the right way with a welcome series that converts. Grab your copy at theaudienceconverter.com/giveaway. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Audience Converter Podcast. I'm Kimberly Weitkamp, your host, conversion copywriter, and marketing strategist. And today I am so incredibly excited to talk about a wonderful tool that I think more coaches who are building communities could really be using to build their own community. And that is the tool and structures of joint ventures. And of course, to help me talk about this amazing topic that, I kind of tiptoed into just a few months ago, and it's been a real game changer for my business, is Josh Niven. Josh is an amazing guy. I met him just a couple of weeks ago, and I'm so excited to have him on. He's the co-founder of the joint venture community where deals get done. They're a community network for business owners to find and build relationships with joint venture partners to get deals happening and for the long term, which is really key, without the noise or distraction you get on other platforms that are strictly for social interaction. So, Josh, again, thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to have you, and welcome to the show.
Thanks so much. It's awesome to be here.
Absolutely. So for those of our audience out there who do not know, can you give your 60-second definition of what a joint venture is?
Essentially, joint venture is a strategic alliance or partnership of two businesses with different assets or unique sets of assets coming together to leverage each other's assets. Now, the assets could be anything from a customer base, it could be a product, it could be, you could have machinery sitting out in the yard of a construction company that's not doing anything in between projects that you could joint venture with another construction company that then basically dry hires or wet hires that machinery off you on the job that they're working on, that saves them having to go out and have big formal leases on that same sort of equipment. It could be between a restaurant and local businesses in that local area surrounding the restaurant where they joint venture. And every time somebody comes in with a special coupon, the other local business might get a monetary kickback, or they might just be happy to be able to support one another, whereby if they buy a certain product or they spend a certain amount of money, they'll get this special coupon to get a discount at the restaurant and drive customers back that way. The big thing is that there's no set way of structuring a joint venture. You literally can be as creative as you like. So the simplest form of joint venture in a way that people really get and understand is McDonald's and Disney. So for a very, very long time, every time Disney brought out a new movie, Disney film, McDonald's had the joint venture agreement that they would then manufacture and produce the little plastic toys that would then go with the Happy Meal. Now, that was a huge joint venture. Disney never had to make a single toy. McDonald's became the largest toy manufacturer on the face of the planet by about a factor of 10 because of the number of toys they sold through their Happy Meals. As a result, Disney made, might only need a very small amount for the licensing of that on every single toy sold, but they still made money off of not having to actually do anything. Another really great example of how local businesses can do a joint venture is there's an example where a BMW dealership and a beauty salon, a high-end beauty salon here in Australia, they got together. The beauty salon put together a hamper, a really beautiful hamper that had, some bath bombs, some home scrubs and facials, but the real value came from about $400 in treatments that people had in vouchers inside the hamper. So what happened is the BMW dealership, every time they sold a car and there was a female partner or girlfriend or a female purchaser of a car, they would actually give one of these hampers to them. Now, the hampers themselves cost very little to put together. I think it would cost them about $45 per hamper, but the value of the hamper was about $450, $600, somewhere in between there, depending on which hamper it was. The BMW dealership went on to have record sales because it got out that people were getting these great little hampers. So people in the space of buying BMWs and Mercedes, they generally will socialize with other people that buy BMWs and Mercedes. So when they go in there, they get that because they've upgraded their car. And then, the guy's wife, she buys a new car and she gets this amazing little hamper. She goes and tells her friends, like, it's amazing. I got this hamper. The treatments were amazing. Oh my God. So it ended up giving the dealership record sales month on month that they were running this promotion, because the more people heard about it, the more they wanted. It just drove people in. It was just that little thing that kicked them over the line. On top of that, the beauty salon got an extra $600,000 in 6 months in revenue. That's on top of what they were doing. That's solely from those clients that came from the BMW dealership. So if we break that down, we've got two businesses that have identified that they've got similar clients. Their ideal client is the same. So they could have done a reverse thing with the beauty salon, but obviously selling a high-end car like a BMW to somebody is a little bit harder than the other way around. But the beauty salon identified, okay, our ideal client are people who drive BMWs. So they put together the joint venture deal with them. The BMW dealership didn't pay for those hampers, but they definitely got the reward of all those additional sales that came in because of it. And then the beauty salon one, because they got all of the access to these ideal customers that have got money to spend on making themselves look and feel amazing, to then come into the beauty salon where they might have otherwise not known that beauty salon was there.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's an amazing breakdown of like 5 different ways. And that's so much information to kind of take in. So essentially a joint venture is just 2 different companies, or, 2 different owners of companies, right? It's essentially all business is, personal. It's right. It's a relationship. So it's 2 different people in business finding a way to work together of mutual benefit.
Correct. Everyone seems to think that, if you're going to go into business, it's a cutthroat industry. You've got to go out there and destroy. I'm going to eat these people up. I want to knock all these competition out of the water. But what they don't realize is that there are actually opportunities to collaborate with people in your own industry. For example, I've got a business that I co-own down in Sydney in the insulation space, and we've just gone out and bought a really, really expensive vacuum that is a 1 micron. Basically, it's the smallest particle that you have got filter on this unit. It costs us $30,000 to get it, but we are working in collaboration with any other insulation install company in the region that we operate, because they don't have this equipment. So they can now add an additional service to their offering to their customers, where we can then be subcontracted basically to come in and vac it out. Now, for us to come in and vac it out, the dollars are very, very lucrative for us to do these cleaning jobs. So anytime that there is blow-in insulation, which is basically puffed up newspaper that is being put in a roof, that is actually quite toxic, especially if the roof hasn't been sealed up properly. So what we do is we then talk to all of these other people out there who are doing the sales. They're making the sale. We're still making really good money by not even having to do the sale, and we just turn up, vacuum it. They come in, they put the new installation in. We have our own team doing installation as well, but that's where we've collaborated with our own industry to be able to grow our business even further. So if there's big government corporate jobs that they need an office building cleaned, well, then we're talking, going from a house that might be between 100 to 300 square meters to 5,000 square meters. And that all came about because of that focus on the collaboration and finding those strategic partnerships to make it happen. So it just comes down to where you're at in your own head of, is this business out there, are they a competition to you? Or can you work out how you could align yourselves with them and leverage each other's skills or assets? But then also, people that in your own circle of friends, in your own community, who do you know that could actually have your ideal client, and then go, hey, actually, you've got this business out there, you've been going for a while, you'd have a good database of customers that regularly buy from you, wouldn't you? Yeah. Well, we've got the same ideal customer. Why don't we look at how we could leverage that? You could get a kickback from everyone that buys from me because you've promoted it to them. Oh, that would work really well. Cool. Then all of a sudden, people are finding opportunities in how to grow their business. People talk about how when you start a business, you've got to have this massive in-depth marketing plan. You've got to have all this money to spend on advertising and Facebook ads and everything like this, when all you need is one good joint venture and you can make 10 times what you would on some of those other ad campaigns. I'm not saying put all your eggs in one basket, but especially when your business is smaller, finding ways to be able to leverage joint ventures is a huge benefit because you don't actually have to pay for the customer until you've been paid by the customer.
This is true. I mean, with, so many people, I think, in the entrepreneurial world, we've got this kind of approach that we have to do it all ourselves. And that includes, growing our network. Like it doesn't make sense unless we brought the people in personally. But honestly, there's just so many different ways to collaborate and opportunities out there that's always my approach, right? Collaboration, not competition. I love working with other people as opposed to competing against people. It's a different mindset to take. But when you take that mindset, there are just so many more opportunities for you. And especially for the people out there listening who, they have a coaching business, for example, and they're building a community. But each of those community members is an individual with different needs. And if you know of other people who are looking for something complementary, like what you said with the car and the spa treatments, right? What would your community benefit from? What would your community like to hear about? And then introducing that opportunity so that both you and the other person's community can grow.
Well, that's where my primary base of what it is that I do a lot of joint venture brokering and do my own joint venture deals. But my business partner and I, Jim, were like, well, we've found that there's a big gap in the market for quality people that are really looking to want to put together joint venture opportunities. So that's where we created the joint venture community. And that's a membership space. So the only people that are in there are actually wanting to find and complete joint ventures, build relationships and work together and support one another, not just people coming in wanting to spam. Like I was just mentioning when we were having a conversation earlier, with Clubhouse, there's just so many people on that space. It's like there's this huge demand for it. Everyone's fear of missing out is insane. But when I got on there, I was taken a bit back because you've got all these really high profile people who are there giving advice and everything else, but it's just another funnel for them to get you into one of their programs. And it was there are certain people that then get that center of influence and it's like, yep, cool, if you want me to help you, here's my free gift. Then it goes into something else. But with the joint venture community, it's all about you've only got people in there that are ready and wanting to learn how to put together a joint venture. And then one of the founders or one of our brokers will actually help assist you with your first JV deal, getting it across the line so that you can actually see joint ventures are an amazing way of being able to grow your business. And this is where you mentioned coaches and things like this. And one of my good mates and also business coach, he's known in the area for being an amazing business coach, but also putting together joint venture deals. So he helps his clients grow their businesses by brokering these deals, and then he gets a 20% stake in pretty much all of those partnerships. So he gets one business client is paying him for his coaching services. The other business client is paying him for these coaching services. And he goes, well, actually, you guys have got an opportunity to work together. So why don't you guys work together, do a 40-40-20 split, and I'll coach that joint venture to make sure it makes money. And he's massively successful for it. So brokering joint ventures is an incredible way to be able to make money. In the last 12 months, when COVID hit, it completely destroyed the business. I just spent a lot of money getting set up, which was a cruise to teach people about joint ventures and to grow their business and do the strategic marketing and basically put together their 12-month plan. That all went belly up when COVID hit because we were doing it on a cruise. All the cruises were cancelled. So that was supposed to be happening actually right now. We were going to be leaving in about 2 days for 12 days out to the South Pacific, but all the cruises got cancelled. And I've used joint ventures over the last 12 months that have been able to put me into deals that are up to 6 figures. So it's been a lifesaver in that my whole business model that I had everything invested in went belly up, and I went, okay, how do I get out of this hole? How do I get that money back? Joint ventures. And a lot of those people I've now got in the joint venture community that I know are keen and open to finding joint venture partners. And it doesn't matter if it's an online product or a physical service. Inside the community, our focus there is to help you find and introduce you to the right joint venture partners so that you can really start rocketing your business in the direction you want it.
So, when we're talking about joint ventures, right? You mentioned a ton of different ways that people could get started, a ton of different ways that people can find collaboration opportunities, whether you're working with local people, whether you're working online, whether you're selling something physical. What would you say is the most important first step to starting that conversation?
Quite simply, asking the questions. You've just got to be able to go, hey, look, let's say, for example, you identify someone you think could be a really good joint venture partner. You basically get in touch with the owner of the company, get through to them and say, hey, look, I was just wondering, I was really interested to know a bit more about your business and how we could possibly work together. If you're open to having a conversation just to see if there's, if we've got any synchronicities, or we can sort of look at how we could come together for mutual benefit. Would that be of interest to you? And if you've got a big customer base, that you've got loyal customers and you're looking for joint venture partners to be able to offer them other products or other services, you could say, I'd be interested in possibly sending you some more work, but I'd love to have a conversation around how that might come together. Are you open to that? And asking them, are you open to that? And not going in there trying to sell them anything, but treating it as a conversation to discover more about them. I had a chat with a very, very successful dating company founder in the Asia region just the other day, where he basically gave me some incredible insights into his business model and how he and his wife have been able to make it such a successful business that we've been able to go, wow, we can apply some of that stuff to us. And we're actually looking at how we could then align some of our joint venture opportunities and introduce them to these guys, and these guys become a member of the joint venture community, but also be able to direct some of the people we've already got in the community to leverage that relationship with him for them all to be able to make extra money and extra revenue, get new clients, and so on and so forth. So it's just one of these things when you're open to, you take off the blinders of just being focused on one little thing, you can step into a whole new realm as long as you keep the focus of what your goal is. So if your goal is to put together a joint venture to get more customers, then you know that the conversations you want to be having and leading into that is around you joint venturing with somebody to have them promote you. And that's where we've given away the free training on how to pre-frame your conversations, which is in the links there, because that gives you a bit of some tools to get started in. When you have that meeting, how do you pre-frame what your objective of what you want to get out of that meeting is or could be? So you quite literally could just say to them, hey guys, look, before we get started, the whole reason why I wanted to have a chat to you today is because I wanted to see if there was an opportunity for us to actually sort of come up with a strategic partnership to work together that could be mutually beneficial for both of our businesses, not only in a financial state, but also a collaborative state. Is that okay with you? And they go, yeah, absolutely. Now, in the back of their minds, whilst you have the conversation, you're asking them loads of questions about their customers and how they've done their business, how they've been so successful and everything else. The back of their mind is also they're looking for, how can we create a strategic alliance and make money out of this relationship? And that's happened because you've pre-framed that conversation appropriately to get that result. So there's a lot of different skills. Some people come to me and go, I don't know how to start the conversation. How do I start the conversation? And I go, well, what's your objective? They go, what do you mean? I want to make more money. No. What's the objective that you'd like to get out of that conversation? Not the whole relationship. What do you want to achieve? Break it down into small bite-sized chunks. What do you want to get out of that particular conversation? I guess I'd like to find out if they're open to joint ventures. Great. You now know what you are sort of pre-framing in that conversation and knowing where you want to steer that conversation to be able to identify if there's somebody you want to work with. There might be things around ethics. There might be things around quality. There might be issue or concerns around delivery capabilities, right? So if you've got a physical product and I go and put together a joint venture for you where 10,000 new customers could be going onto your website and purchasing your product, but you've only got 1,000 in stock and it will take you 6 months to get another 10,000, that's not going to be feasible, right? That's not something you want to be able to put together. That's where you don't not do that deal, but just ramp it up slowly. Do a test. Say, look, can we send it out to 1,000 of your members instead of everybody? Yeah, sure. And if you sell 1,000, great. Put the pressure on to get more product in before, or find another product or source another product so you can continue that relationship. Because if it's going to make them money for doing nothing and it's going to make you money and grow your business, where's the loss? Where's the downside to it?
Right. It's a win-win for everybody, right? It's a win for you, it's a win for the other business person, and of course it's a win for your customers too, because you're introducing them to more opportunities, or you're helping them fulfill and find a solution to something that you can't help them with, but maybe somebody else can help them with. And that's a great breakdown of the conversation. And also it's important basically with everything that you do, right? When you pre-frame something, like if you are going to have that marketing materials in place, right? Like a webinar, or if you're going to introduce people to a live or something, you want to let people know what they can expect from this particular instance, right? I'm going to share with you information. I'm going to share with you an opportunity. I'm going to share with you, the most common questions I get, the answers that I provide, and then an opportunity to go further. Whenever you open and start your approach to business that way, not only does it build trust because you're letting people know what you're going to do and then you immediately deliver, but it also kind of breaks down some internal barriers that a lot of people have, I think, especially now with so many people moving online and so many people are kind of in this mind space of, well, I'm not sure if I trust what I'm seeing online. So when you pre-frame the interaction by letting them know what's going to happen and then you fulfill on that promise, it really gives you a lot of power within your business, and it gives you a lot of power, and it creates a really powerful relationship with the people that you're talking with, whether that's building your community. These are community members. They're going to become clients. They're going to be customers. Whatever it is that your end goal is, you are going to have that opportunity to build that long-term relationship from a great place at the start.
Completely. Absolutely. And that's where I guess the big thing is that everyone's got to make money. So people need to look at, how can I do that the easiest way possible? Now, one of the biggest things that I have learned over my years is that it was sort of like, okay, great, I can get to a point where I can financially retire. And then I was like, oh, okay, now what? And for me, my passion is helping people. And I get grilled all the time by my mentors and coaches that you got to stop giving away all this information, all these resources and all this content for free. I'm like, but that's just the way I am. I just like to help people. For example, I saw a post on Facebook just this morning of a lady who has invested a lot of money to get a restaurant, sounds like it's a restaurant, up and running, but she's basically run out of money, literally meters from the finish line of being able to get the business open. And she's going, so what should I do? Should I just close the business down and sell everything I've basically just paid for and see if I can recoup some of my costs? And I've just reached out to her. I'm going to have a chat with her at about 11 o'clock this morning. But the reason why I did that was because I'm like, well, that's like, that gives me that little lurch in the pit of my stomach, because I've been there. And as a business owner, one of the biggest challenges we have is dealing with challenges or problems as they arise. And the size of our business or the size of our financial wealth solely comes down to our ability to overcome these sorts of hurdles. And I'm going to reach out to her. I'm going to have a chat to her, find out more about her business and see how I can help her just with some advice. But she could be doing some joint ventures with local community members, whereby it's then, as soon as she opens, they're all promoting and helping support her get as many customers as humanly possible. So even though she hasn't even opened her business yet, she could be out there starting to put together the joint venture deals to have those things happening. That could even be a pre-sale that they could promote out to their customers going, hey guys, we're trying to help this business get up and running. They're going to be opening on this date. They've done a really amazing deal where if you pre-purchase a meal voucher for X, you'll actually get Y in value. So it's like, if you buy a beer and burger combo, it's normally going to be $17, but if you get it today, it's going to be $10. And you get the coupon and they can sell it for them. They can do it online, however they do it. But that might be able to help her get that money that she needs in the bank to finish off the plumbing and electrical stuff that she needs to get done and get the business opening. And as soon as that happens, she's also then got customers coming in. So they come in for their beer and burger combo, but they end up drinking 3 more beers. So then she's got the additional revenue from those 3 extra beers. So the space that I'm in is just trying to help as many people as I can to have more successful businesses and more successful lives. And that's why we had to set up the joint venture community, because I needed a space for me to be able to do that wasn't going to be influenced or controlled by Facebook or other people where you don't have any control over it. And we'd love to have more and more people come in there, because it's not just about me. We've got other members helping other members with challenges they've got in their business or in their joint venture. There are businesses in there that have the ideal product to help these joint ventures really take off in, things like copywriters and marketing and getting out the materials or building the funnels or building the online sales pages. The resources of those people are in there. And I've had so much support myself in getting this set up from my members that I can't talk highly enough of them, because they've helped me get this to the point we're at now. And we've still got a long way to go.
But that's the best example, right? The best example of a joint venture right there.
Well, the cruise that I was doing that was going to be running in January in a couple of days, I had 5 top-end speakers. Our main host, he is normally $2,000 for a 2-hour keynote presentation. And he was coming on the 14-day cruise or 12-day cruise for free. It wasn't costing me physically anything out of my pocket, because of the way I was able to structure the conversation with him, to then invite him to be that person that comes on board and is the person of authority. So for him, he's going, great, I'm going to be put in front of my ideal client, because I'm also a business coach. So he was dead keen for it, because it was giving him his perfect market we were going to expose him to by being on the cruise.
Absolutely.
And it was the same for the other 4 speakers that we had coming on board, because it's like, they're like, yes, absolutely. I get a free cruise, and I'll also get 12 days to make face-to-face relationships with people to help them grow their business, and they could become clients of mine.
Yeah, I mean, there's always something in it for somebody, right? And it's a matter of us kind of reframing in our minds the value that we're bringing that's beyond just dollar exchanges. And you've given us so many great and wonderful pieces of advice and a lot of wonderful examples of how joint venturing can work for a lot of different business types. So, we're nearing the end of our time here. And what would you say is that first step to kind of establishing yourself as somebody who realizes that joint ventures are a great way to grow your community and help somebody else grow theirs?
First step to moving or looking into the joint venture space is YouTube is free. Right? You Google anything on YouTube or search anything on YouTube and you'll find loads of videos. So have a look at and watch some of these videos and just search joint venture partnerships. How do I do a joint venture? How do I structure a joint? And there'll be videos there. You'll probably find some of my videos in there as well. They're branded marketers crews that are on how to put the joint ventures together, because that's a free resource that everybody's got to be able to access that. Now, if you want to know how do you start the conversations, or how do you get through a gatekeeper to the right person, everything like this, there is so many different strategies behind that. And I'm open to having a conversation about that. You can reach out to me on Facebook or on, I don't know what else I've got on there, LinkedIn. Otherwise, you've also got Clubhouse. If you are in Clubhouse, I'm going to be starting a room in there that is solely focused around people being able to share what their business is and what they're looking for, who their ideal client is, and then we'll basically break down who could be their ideal joint venture partners. So it's a great space for people to be able to listen in, because you might be listening just in the background and go, that's my customer. I could do a joint venture deal with this person. And then you can reach out to them through the Instagram links back to their profile to send them a message and say, hey, I heard you on Clubhouse talking about your business and your joint venture partners that you're looking for. I think that'd be a really ideal. I think we could have something here. Can we have a conversation? And then take that conversation offline and actually get on either the phone or get on Zoom so you can physically see the other person to have that conversation. See if it's somebody that you want to work with. And then at the end of the day, if the first one doesn't work, don't let that stop you. If you find that you're struggling to get them across the line, find a coach, find somebody who is knowledgeable and experienced in the space of joint ventures, and get some support. Yes, it may cost you, but that's because you're buying their knowledge and experience that's probably worth 10 to 100 times what you're physically going to pay them. But if you get that support, then you can get it across the line. Then you can see, wow, look how much I just made from that one joint venture deal. We got a member in the joint venture community. In the first 3 days of him joining, we were able to connect him to another joint venture community member. His business would turn over around $5,000 profit a month. We gave him a joint venture. We literally held their hand, put together a joint venture, made him 10 grand before Christmas. That was 4 weeks before Christmas that joint venture came together. And it's going to make him around 6 figures, 5 to 6 figures in the next 12 months from that one joint venture.
Yeah, all you need is one, right? Your starting point is just one, and that starts with a conversation. So it's so important to be able to kind of, establish what might be a great complementary service or product, meet somebody and get them on the phone and get them to have a conversation. So Josh, I want to say thank you again so much for coming on, talking about joint ventures and giving of your knowledge as always. And if people want to learn more about you and the joint venture community, where can they go?
You can go to the joint venture. You'll have the link for the joint venture community in the details.
In the show notes?
I've got my Facebook profile link there, and I believe my LinkedIn as well. And my Clubhouse handle is just at Josh Niven. So if you want to reach out there, and if you have any questions, just shoot me a message in Facebook. Let me know where you've come from. Say, hey, I heard your podcast on Kimberly's podcast for the event. I'd love to be able to, pick your brain or anything like that. I'm always open to have a chat. If I've got free time, if I'm driving, I'm always on the phone, always happy to do that rather than just sit there staring at the road.
There you go. All right, everyone. Thank you again so much, Josh, for being here and for sharing your wisdom with the audience. Do be sure to check out all of those amazing links in the show notes, as Josh mentioned, and join the joint venture community so you can start the process of meeting more people who can help you grow your business and grow your community at the same time. Until next time, everybody, keep calm and carry on.
Thanks for listening to the Audience Converter Podcast. For more information and important links about today's show or for access to our website, visit theaudienceconverter.com. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.